Today, I'll be filming a book review for Jerkbait by Mia Siegert. First and foremost, I just want to say that everyone should read this book. I think no matter how many great things I'm going to say in this video, I won't be able to explain it and emphasize enough how amazing and incredible and wonderful this book is. So if you're going to do anything in life, honestly, just read this book. That's all there really is to say. I can't say much else than that. Also, I don't want to say too much about this book because I really think, honestly, just reading it is what you should do. I don't want to, spoil anything or even have the chance of spoiling anything for you. I just want to give you a brief synopsis of it, and then you all should read it. To give you a very brief synopsis of this book is about twins named Tristan and Robbie, and they both play hockey, which hockey is the best sport out there, but I should probably honestly stay focused in this video, but at the same time, I feel like I can't. To give you a brief synopsis of this book is about twins named Tristan and Robbie, who both play hockey, and Robbie is hoping to go into the NHL, and he has a lot of NHL teams looking at him and wanting to draft him. But as the book goes on, you find out that Robbie is struggling because he is gay, and he's worried about how that's going to affect his chances of getting into the NHL, and he struggles with it a lot. This book is all about Tristan and Robbie's struggles to get into the NHL. For those of you who don't know, the book also talks about You Can Play, which is a campaign to ensure that all people, all athletes of any sexuality are welcome and free to join any sport that they wish, and it's all about including people of all different types of sexualities. Now, their very important note is that the book talks about the You Can Play campaign, and I don't think I'll be able to word it as well as the back of the book does, mentioning the You Can Play campaign, so I'm going to read the little paragraph talking about You Can Play in the back of the book. You Can Play is a non-profit organization whose mission is to ensure safety and inclusion for all who participate in sports, including LGBT athletes, coaches, and fans. You Can Play believes sports teams should focus on the athlete's skills, work ethic, and competitive spirit, not their sexual orientation, gender identity, or gender expression. And I think this book is incredibly important because of just that You Can Play project alone, and also just the fact that there is a character in the book who is gay, and so it's a really important note to make with that. Before I get into more about the book, I just want to say that I love the way books are being written lately. I love the way authors are writing about LGBT, and authors are talking about trans characters, and we're seeing more diversity in books, which I know has been a big thing in the booktube community lately. Even with the books that I can think that really stand out to me, and not to I'm sure there are many others, but the books that I've seen so far this year that are amazing is Jerkbait. One of my other favorites is it When I Was Your Girl? When I Was Your Girl by Meredith Russo. But overall, I'm giving a very brief overview of this book, but I think this book is amazing for the issues and things it discusses in it. It's a lot of things that I think authors don't talk about, or they don't talk about because they don't have as much experience, or they don't have as much knowledge about it, but I think this book is something that everyone should read because of the LGBT aspects of this book. Also, hockey is always cool. Hockey isn't a bad thing to talk about in books, so I think it's really cool that hockey and LGBT were combined in this book, and it makes for a very interesting and unique book, something that I've never seen done before. And again, that's not to say it hasn't been done before, I just personally haven't seen it. It's also just a pretty quick read. It's not too long of a book, but I think it has everything that a story should have, and it gives you everything that you would want in a story. And this is honestly a book that anybody that I know in my life that even remotely likes hockey, I'm just hey, if you heard about this book, you should read it because it's great. I think one of my friends finally bought it after I told her for months and months and months that she should read it. And I read this book so long ago, and I apologize to Mia in advance, and I hope that she's watching this, and I think that she's watching this. I apologize, this video has taken me forever to film. I don't even know why. Actually, that's wrong, I do know why. I originally didn't film this when it first came out because my team was in the playoffs, and I was scared that me talking about hockey in a video was going to jinx that. So now that we're back after post-hockey, I can talk about this book. And somehow I got this book 3 weeks before it came out. I don't know. It came out in May. I don't know how I got it 3 weeks before it came out. It was some magical, I don't even know, but it was crazy. So I read this book way before anybody else heard about it, and I'm just patiently waiting for everyone to get the book and for people's reviews to come out because I wanted to fangirl about it with people. So I know I didn't talk a ton about this book, but I think I talked about the issues in the book overall, which is something I think is very important in today's book culture. And if any of you even like remotely thought this sounded interesting, this book sounded amazing, I highly, 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 highly recommend reading this book because it's incredible, and I think it'll give you so many new perspectives in life, and it will teach you so many things that you might not have known about before. And regardless, honestly, just read this book. Even if you don't like hockey, and if you don't think you'll be interested in it, you have to read this book. It's so good. So this is not a flattering angle at all, and I'm barely able to keep this stable. But somehow I also forgot to mention that there's an audiobook for this book, and it's narrated by Ravi Volman. And for those of you who like live under a rock, Phil from Phil the Future. So regardless, for any reasons, if you even don't feel like you want to sit down and physically read this book, there's an audiobook narrated by him. So like, I don't know if there's any other reason to even question why you should read this book. Like, why aren't you already reading it? I'm wondering why. Like, why? Hopefully, I keep saying this, but I really hope you honestly all just read this book. I was all over the place with that book review just because I wanted to share so many random tidbits about this book that I just like love and appreciate a lot. Regardless, you all, honestly, like I just said, just read this book, please. Like, if there's one book I think everyone should read, it's probably this one. I think it's really important, and also talks about some of my favorite things in it, so it's good all around. But again, just read the book. Just do it. That is all I have for you today, and I will see you next time.